G'day guys, it's Justin here. Thought I'd come to you with a quick video. Probably will only be about 10-15 minutes long, if that. Just with some early season predictions for the 2014 NBA season. Obviously, free agency is winding down, but still hot as ever. At this time, the 6th of August, with rumours of Kevin Love going to Cleveland. Still, nothing's been confirmed yet, but there's a very good chance, from the looks of it, that Kevin Love will be going to Cleveland in a trade with Andrew Wiggins, and from what I've heard, Anthony Bennett will also be heading to Philadelphia in a three-way trade, and I think Thaddeus Young will also be heading to Minnesota for that one as well. That's how that one will be working out. So, not a great, sort of a deal there, other than, Minnesota get Wiggins and they get Thaddeus Young. Anthony Bennett will obviously then land in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid, Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter-Williams. So a very young team there. And obviously LeBron, needing as much help as he can, will land Kevin Love, which will be a bonus for him and many of the millions of people that are now random season ticket holders of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, good luck to them. But aside from that, so my predictions obviously are as of now, as of 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in Australia, on the 6th, obviously, of August 2014. So we'll start with the conferences. At the moment, in the East, I have Chicago winning. As you can see, they've had a great off-season as far as free agency has been concerned. They've managed to pick up Pau Gasol. They've managed to pick up Europe's best player. They did well in the draft with Doug McDermott, probably the highest, the fifth highest scorer in NCAA history, and a healthy Derrick Rose returning, along with Defensive Player of the Year Joakim Noah, along with Taj Gibson on the bench. They're looking very solid at the moment, which is what you want to see out of Chicago. It's been a long time since the Bulls have been right up there in contention. Obviously, 2011 was their last season, but realistically, I think we all had the heat there, except for you diehard Bulls fans. I mean, you had a reason to as well. But I just think at the moment it's Chicago's time in the East. Obviously, at number 2, I have Cleveland. I'm only going to be doing 3 here. But yeah, at number 2 I have Cleveland. Cleveland for me is number 2, obviously, with the returning of LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. I feel they can work well. Dion Waiters is also a good set there. For them, they also have quite a deep bench, which is good. By deep, I mean, they've got some talent around them. They've managed to acquire some shooters, which will help LeBron with his penetrate offense, allow him to flick out the pass to, deep. Opening up shooters will be obviously a bonus for them. Kevin Love going to that squad may change my opinion on Chicago being number 1, but I hold firm that they will be a better defensive squad and a hell of a lot better offensively as a unit. So I will be leaving them there. But Kevin Love going to Cleveland, for Wiggins, will be a great help for them. Another tall, along with Varejao, both very good rebounders. I'm pretty sure Varejao at one point was averaging 14 and 14, not last season, the season before, when he was last in good form and last really in fitness, which will be a bonus for them, with Kevin Love also dragging anywhere between 12 and 15 boards down a night. Will be good for them. Obviously, LeBron, the best player since Michael, legacy-wise, ahead of everyone in the comp at the moment. Not by much, but I feel, it'll help him to be back in Cleveland. Obviously, playing with great players is a very big bonus, but at the moment, things are looking good for him. He'll have to lift up his defense this year. LeBron is quite slack on the defensive end compared to other years for himself, but I feel he'll be doing okay. And for me, I think the conference, the conference shock, as far as a team that could take the conference unexpectedly, would be Charlotte. Obviously, been able to acquire Lance Stevenson in the off-season has shot them right up the rankings over in the East, particularly with Jefferson. Working a tandem game with him will be quite good. Stevenson obviously understands the idea of playing a two-way guard position. He can play the point, he can play the 2. It provides great passing and rebounding options, great scoring, and obviously Jefferson down low will be a great help. Kemba Walker and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist will also be great helps for that team. They've got plenty of young talent coming back through, and obviously under the tutelage of Michael and those around him, Lance Stevenson should be doing pretty good this season. So that's why I have Charlotte. They'll probably finish at the 3, and I have no doubt that they could very well take the conference. If things do fall their way, I don't think they will, but if they were to, I wouldn't be overly shocked. As we move to the West, obviously my West champions will be the defending NBA champions, San Antonio Spurs. Yes, their age is a factor, but they really didn't lose anyone in the off-season. Obviously, Patty Mills is injured, so a bit of depth off the bench is gone. But they didn't lose out in the off-season. They still retain basically the same squad. I've heard rumours of Aaron Baines not being there. He did provide some valuable minutes off the bench in the playoffs, some particularly big minutes in the playoffs. Good minutes in the regular season. He provides, a good big option as well. Obviously, some Aussie boys there, so sorry about that. But, Paddy Mills has certainly shown as one of the better players for that team this season. He particularly showed it in the playoffs and the finals. He'll probably be their next point after Tony Parker. So, they're working towards that as well. Obviously, guys like Boris Diaw, Tiago Splitter, Matt Bonner, other guys like Danny Green, they were able to work well this season. They've got a very general good mix of guys. We're transitioning under the Pop system under Duncan, Ginobili and Parker. I feel Tim Duncan still got another season left in him. He took a pay cut, obviously, to sign these guys back up, which just shows the dedication they have to, keep rolling and keep going. So good signs ahead for the San Antonio Spurs and, hopefully the league, because it's always good to see a true team concept getting up and around in the league. At number 2, I have Oklahoma City, obviously with Kevin Durant coming off his MVP season. He's had MVP form for quite a few years now. I don't think we were shocked to see him win the MVP. OKC, again with Russell Westbrook, obviously great help. Sort of a two-man team, that's understandable, but at the same time, they have some good defence there in Ibaka. And Durant and Westbrook, very underrated defenders as well. So, their big 3 for me is a big reason why I have them at number 2. Obviously, I think Durant can up his game again this season in all assets. I feel his defense will improve, his rebounding will improve, his passing. It doesn't necessarily need to be high, but, Westbrook has a point, averaging 7 assists per game. There's no reason why Durant can't average 6 or 7 assists per game to make up for those extras that Westbrook doesn't necessarily get. Scoring is scoring. I don't think we'd be shocked to see him come out and score between 30 and 35 a game. Do I think he'll score 35 a game? Probably not, but, if he was to, I wouldn't be shocked. Westbrook, again, a score first point guard. Athletic as hell. We all seen in the playoffs how effective he could be on the court and all assets of the game. Probably could raise his efficiency a little bit more, but I think we could ask that of every player. And my conference shock, if they were to take the conference, I wouldn't be shocked at all. But, I think they could shock a few people in the conference. And that's Portland, obviously with LaMarcus Aldridge, Damian Lillard, Nick Batum as their main 3 players, along with guys like Wesley Matthews, guys like Chris Kaman, and guys like Brook Lopez able to provide valuable minutes as well. They're obviously a predominantly outside team. I don't think any of us are shocked at that. But they have probably the best, after these playoffs, the best power forward in the game in LaMarcus Aldridge has proven that he can play in all assets of the offensive area. Obviously, a lot of power forwards these days lack defensively. So, you can make an argument there that he needs to improve, which he does. I totally agree there. All power forwards in the league these days do. But I do feel that, with the team they've got, the structure they've got, the great potential they showed and the great effort they showed in the playoffs is the reason why they can continue to make it. Now, you might be asking me why I didn't say my own Rockets. James Harden is the reason I didn't say my own Rockets to be the conference shock. Clippers are a hit-and-miss team. I feel they just need one more season of unity until they can be considered serious West contenders. Golden State as well, I feel they've got a little bit more to do. But, all in all, a pretty deep conference again in the West. Dallas has revamped itself to be, again, probably another top 4 seed or top 4 team in the West. The Clippers, again, a top 4 team in the West. So I think the West, again, is the the conference to beat this season. The team that comes out of there will no doubt be championship favourites. But then again, if you come up against a Chicago from the East, particularly with their defensive game. I think you'd get a very entertaining series. So obviously, with the prediction of San Antonio and Chicago in the NBA Finals, taking their conferences respectively, I would not be shocked if they were to in fact go to the NBA Finals. Moving on to individual awards, now I'll cover here the most improved player, scoring champion, rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, the MVP, and finally coach of the year. Starting with most improved player, I don't think that there's a shadow of a doubt that Taj Gibson is almost odds-on favourite for this at the moment. He will be taking the starting power forward spot, you'd have to believe. In Chicago, he was nominated for that. I mean, Pau Gasol may very well take it, and I wouldn't be shocked, but at the same time, you've got a guy who knows the Tibbs system, who's a loyal teammate, who's proven his worth for years on the bench, and I think now's his time to step up and have a go. I don't have anyone for second on that award, unfortunately, because I do feel Taj Gibson at the moment is the favourite. I don't have anyone in mind. That is to say, but by the time November rolls around, not November, probably just before the season starts, depending on what happens, I'll update you there on those awards. I very much doubt that the East and West will change, so we'll leave those there. But my most improved player will no doubt have a second option there. As we move to Rookie of the Year, obviously, a very touted draft class with everything that's coming through this season. I've got Andrew Wiggins at the moment winning Rookie of the Year. Reason being is that it's there's a very high chance that he does move over to Minnesota, and being in Minnesota would make him, almost immediately the number one man. And in being the number one man, as a rookie, there's a good chance you're going to get Rookie of the Year. We've seen it time and time again with players. So, I don't think that's a shock to anyone. I could have chosen Jabari Parker too. He'll be quite a competitor for him in Milwaukee. But I do feel that my number two, a lot of people will be sleeping on this guy, is Nerlens Noel. Now, he's still eligible for rookie as he hasn't played a game, obviously. It will be his first official season in the league. Defensively, there's no reason why he can't win it. Probably lacks a little bit offensively, but, that'll be made up for on that 76ers team. He's one of many bigs on that 76ers team. They are quite a tall team. Him and Joel Embiid, they'll be competing for minutes, no doubt. No doubt they'll be a 4-5 combination. Scary defensively, that Sixers team. You could even see them just scratch the 8th spot in the East. I very much doubt they will, but if they were to scratch 8, I don't think anyone would be too concerned about it. So obviously a shout out to Jabari Parker and guys like that in the draft. Dante Exum, an Australian, shout out to him, and any of the other guys that were in that draft. Shout out to you guys. You guys, very touted talents through college. I've seen a lot of mixtapes of the draft class, and there's no doubt that it is a talented draft class, but they have to prove themselves, obviously. So for me, I have Wiggins followed by Noel. Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, Joakim Noah winning it last season. Most of you would think, he's going to do a routine there. No, if you go and look at the numbers, I have a feeling this year that Anthony Davis will be the Defensive Player of the Year. If you go over his numbers, over 60, I'm pretty sure he played 67 or 63 games last season, 2.8 blocks and a steal in only his second season, averaging basically 20 and 10. This guy's a freak, particularly at his age. He's only 21, 22. If that, he'll be. I'm pretty sure he's 23 next season. Could it end up finishing as one of the 50, in my opinion? If he keeps his numbers up, if he's able to develop his game, if he's able to win a championship, I've got no doubt he will probably win an MVP at some point in his career. This guy could possibly be one of the 50 greatest players to ever play the game. Being an all-time great is something that, a lot of players on an individual sense strive for. And I've got no doubt this guy can. He's got a very all-round game, defensively minded though. His offense is certainly nothing to shrug at the moment. Probably the best defensive centre we've had in the league. Obviously Joakim Noah is at the moment, but I mean, on a consistent basis, this guy could, be replicating things that like Dwight did on a consistency basis back in the mid to late 2000s. And obviously at second I have Joakim Noah. I mean, he's nothing to scoff at. If you were to flip these guys around and say Joakim Noah was going to win Defensive Player of the Year, I'm not going to argue with you because there's a good chance he will. At the moment, he's the best defensive centre in the game, covers more ground, based on size, weight, who he guards, and whatnot than anyone in the game. Can defend, right out to the perimeter. Probably isn't the greatest on-ball defender, particularly for a big man, but he is certainly able to cover the ground, roll back to the basket well, protect the cup. Defensive rebounds is also something he's quite good at. Altering shots is one thing. Forcing the offense is another thing he's able to do as a defensive player. And he's also able to force the offense into doing what he wants them to do and not what they want to do, which is something key for a defensive player. Anthony Davis has the same, but he doesn't quite have the experience, which is where, he could come up short, particularly in Defensive Player of the Year race. So, again, as I said, I wouldn't be shocked if Anthony Davis was to lose it, but I feel this year is his year. Now, to the second, probably the most important individual award this league has to offer outside of the playoffs, and that's the league MVP. For me, I feel he'll go back-to-back, and I have Kevin Durant as my league MVP for season 2014-2015. I feel he's, again, as I covered before, the guy's an offensive freak. He can, basically score from anywhere and do anything on the court as an offensive player. Can't be guarded at 6'10" for his agility. LeBron James on his night, if he tries, can, but last season struggled immensely to defend Kevin Durant. Tony Allen had a very good showing on Durant, particularly with Mike Conley in the playoffs just gone. Obviously, as I said, Durant, though, offensively hard to stop. Defensively, very underrated, particularly for his height and his wingspan. Can guard anyone from the 1 and, in some cases can guard the 5. I've got no doubt about him guarding the 4. That's not a problem for him. Probably needs to develop a bit more of a post game. He's certainly working on that. It has been noticeable. His jump shot has developed. His ability to drive to the cup has improved immensely. His ability to get around players, his ability to move off the ball has also improved, which has allowed him to get more and more open as the season progressed last season. We all know that famous scoring streak he went on, the longest since Michael. And again, that's nothing to scoff at either. Again, defensively, that wingspan really helps. He's able to rebound, he's able to pass, he's efficient when he scores, which is one thing you need to look at. Guys like, in comparison, James Harden need to look at this guy and understand how efficient he is. And, for me, I have no doubt this is why Kevin Durant will win the league MVP. And runner-up to the league MVP will be LeBron James. Now, LeBron has lost nearly 20 pounds over the off-season. A lot of you have seen that. He's cut down from 270, 260 to around 250, 240. I think he's realised that longevity needs to set in at this point. And if he really wants to get back to that explosiveness, I think that's why he lost a lot of weight. Again, he's the best all-round player in the league at the moment. I think the gap's narrowing between him and Kevin Durant, but I feel with Durant on form, he'll just be better. I mean, LeBron's career speaks for itself. 4 league MVPs, 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, multiple All-Star selections, multiple defensive team selections, multiple NBA team selections, multiple All-Star MVPs. The guy's had a career that, players literally dream about. A defensive player of the year is something he's lacking. And, I feel that he could really put in the effort this year. He may be able to win the defensive player of the year, but he would have to be doing some phenomenal numbers and some phenomenal things on the court for that to happen. Again, not shocked if LeBron wins the MVP. It'd be his 5th league MVP and rightfully deserved, but I really don't think that he can. I think Durant will just continue on form. One thing I forgot to go over is the scoring title. Another touted individual accolade that players who are able to score would like to win. Obviously, that's the same as what I've mentioned for my MVP, and that's at number 1 I have Kevin Durant, number 2 I have LeBron. At the moment, Durant has a better all-round offensive game to LeBron has a better jump shot for me, has more range. Based on the fact that he takes more jumpers than LeBron, he's probably equally as efficient, but I would like to see him drive to the cup a bit more like LeBron. Again, LeBron probably the most efficient scorer, based on size alone in the league, and I think just in general he's the most efficient scorer in the league. So it is good to see him come out and score 27 a game. That's not a problem. He may not need to up it this year if he's able to gain the likes of Kevin Love, and obviously Kyrie Irving will take some points from him as well. And we all know how Kyrie is as a personality. I don't think he'd be wanting his points to slip too much. So that's why I've got him at number 2. So I don't really think he can win it. But if he did, I wouldn't be shocked. And finally, Coach of the Year for me will be Tom Thibodeau, the best defensive coach in the league. If he's able to mastermind that Bulls team with a returning Derrick Rose, there's no reason why he can't win Coach of the Year. He probably could have won it last year, really, when you think about it. But, obviously Popovich was able to do with such an older squad was, quite remarkable. And that's why I've got him at number 2, so I wouldn't be shocked if he was to win it again. But I do feel that it's Tibbs' time for the obvious reasons I stated. Offensively, they're able to develop a good system to work. Pick and roll high is quite good. They're able to move off the ball, Chicago, which is good, which is also a credit to Tibbs. Being defensively minded, his offensive schemes allow the defense to work in his favour rather than working against the defense. And the same with Pop. Pop's a great two-way coach, so he's able to do the same thing. So they're my predictions, guys. Just to run through them one more time for everyone. In the Eastern Conference, I have Chicago winning, followed by Cleveland, with my conference shock being Charlotte. In the West, I have the San Antonio Spurs, followed by Oklahoma City Thunder, and my conference shock would be Portland. My most improved player would be Taj Gibson, and I'm not sure who'll match that. As I said, I'll update these as the season gets closer. That'll give me more perspective by then, particularly if anything hot start players get injured, sort of like Paul George did. As I keep going through there, my Rookie of the Year, Andrew Wiggins, followed by Nerlens Noel. My Defensive Player of the Year will be Anthony Davis, followed by Joakim Noah. My League MVP would be going to Kevin Durant, followed by LeBron James. Scoring title, again, to Kevin Durant, followed by LeBron James. With Coach of the Year going to Tom Thibodeau, with the runner-up being Greg Popovich. So thanks very much, guys, for watching the video. Shout out to my one live viewer. You're the man. Hit me up with a comment. Let me know who you are. If you got a Twitter, I'll hit you up with a follow. Too easy, dude. So again, thank you very much. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Check out my channel. Check out my suggested channels in the channel box from the Blitz team. All of those guys put in a lot of hard work and are dedicated to their craft, sort of like a hell of a lot more than I am. Particularly Bruce. Shout out to Bruce. Over there at blitzsportsnetwork.com. Go sign up over there too. You'll have many more NBA related topics over there. Many more NBA related articles, videos. Many of you have found me through the Blitz team, which I greatly appreciate. So show some love. Go over there. Show Bruce some love, and again, just show all the fellas some love. They put in, a lot of hard work into what they do as well, and deserve just as much love as I do. So again, thank you very much. Hit like and subscribe. Check out my channel, and keep your eye out for many periodic videos like this. Again, I'm trying to up the content on my channel. This is just one way I can keep doing it. Hit up my YouTube inbox while there is with questions if you've got any that you want answered. Hit me up on my Twitter at Justin_G_Brian. Hit me up with a follow there. Hit me up with a question, anything NBA related you want to know, I can help. As you can see in the background, many historical photos and players, so I should be able to give you an in-depth sort of answer or video if you want it. So again, just hit me up. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I'll catch you next time.